The cheap paint of the haunted house filled my lungs, a familiar scent of my second job. Every dollar I earned, every drop of sweat, was for her. For Celeste. For her mother's spiraling medical bills. I crouched in the corner, my rubber monster mask digging into my skin, waiting for the next group of paying customers to scare. Soon enough, the door creaked open, and a couple stumbled in, their clothes in disarray, locked in a passionate kiss. The man's voice was breathy, shy. "Celeste, darling, hurry up. Let me see those sexy little panties I bought you today. I want to rip them to shreds. You've already torn through 7 pairs today. Rowan, I won't have anything to wear later. We still have to go to your mother's birthday party at the hotel." A cold dread washed over me. It had to be a coincidence. Celeste Fairchild, my Celeste, her mother was in a coma, wasting away in a hospital bed. But the next second, the woman in the dark spotted my hiding spot. She tore off her panties and threw them, along with a thick stack of cash, directly at my face. "Close your damn eyes and get out." A sharp, stinging line erupted on my forehead as the crisp edges of the bills cut my skin. But I was frozen, because that voice, it wasn't just any voice. It was the voice of the woman I had loved for 3 years. "Nolan, what are you still doing in there? Don't disturb Mr. Ashworth and his girlfriend. Get out, now." The manager's urgent voice crackled through my earpiece, yanking me back to reality. I scrambled to my feet, grabbing the props from the floor, and fled the dimly lit room in shame. Behind me, the sounds of their passion grew louder, more intense. When I reached the front desk, I looked down at the pile of props in my arms. Tangled in the plastic skulls and fake blood was a flimsy piece of lace and that stack of cash. It was a thick stack of hundreds, easily a few grand. Enough to pay for a month of my rent. Normally, I would have been thrilled. I would have taken a picture and sent it to Celeste, proudly. "Look, Celeste, we've got your mom's medical bills covered for this month. You don't have to work so hard anymore." But now, Mr. Ashworth? Was this the same Celeste who cried in my arms over her mother's illness? The one who split a single ramen packet with me in our tiny apartment, promising me a future of happiness? If he was her boyfriend, then what was I? The props clattered to the floor. A group of wealthy-looking girls sitting by the reception desk glanced over, their lips curling into knowing smirks. "Rowan is so desperate, now that he's back from Europe. He must have torn through dozens of pairs of panties this week, right? Celeste is really spoiling him. I mean, those things cost, what, 10 grand a pair? She's not afraid her little broke boy toy will find out and throw a fit? Afraid of what? Celeste has all the money in the world, and besides, so what if he finds out? Rowan left her 3 years ago, and she only started slumming it with that guy out of spite. Now that Rowan's back, who cares about him? It must have been exhausting for Celeste, pretending to be poor for 3 whole years. Well, you know our Celeste. She's always been a romantic, swore she'd only ever marry Rowan, that her money was only for him to spend. No other man would ever see a dime. That idiot, what's his name, Nolan Wright? He actually believed her sob story, running around working 4 jobs to help her pay off debts and save her mom. It's hilarious. Their words were like thunderclaps, each one striking my soul. They giggled, their eyes glued to a monitor. I followed their gaze and my breath hitched. On the night vision camera feed, a woman was on top of a man, their bodies entwined in a desperate, hungry dance. Even in the dim light, even with just a profile, I recognized her instantly. I had never seen this side of Celeste, so wild, so passionate. As if sensing my stare through the camera, she suddenly looked up, her eyes blazing. She grabbed her coat, covering Rowan, then snatched a nearby prop skull and hurled it at the camera lens. "Get lost. You think you're worthy of looking at my Rowan? Keep staring and I'll gouge your eyes out." The screen dissolved into static. One of the girls pouted. It was so dark, and she covered him up so fast, we couldn't even see anything. Why is she so possessive? The other day I joked about seeing what her boy toy Nolan looked like shirtless, and she just laughed and said maybe later. I guess Rowan really is her precious treasure. The treatment is completely different. I clenched my fists so hard my knuckles turned white, then slowly, powerlessly, let them go. The first reaction to an unbearable truth isn't anger. It's denial. Even after my manager told me for the 3rd time that my shift was over, I stood there, rooted to the spot. I refused to believe it. I refused to believe that the woman they were talking about, the one who played with people's hearts, was the woman I had loved for 3 years. An hour later, Celeste emerged from the room, her arm linked with Rowan's. The bright lights of the lobby illuminated her face, so beautiful and sharp, shattering my last sliver of self-deception. Rowan's neck was covered in love bites. He noticed the cut on my forehead and had the grace to look embarrassed. "Hey there, my girlfriend has a bit of a temper. Sorry she hurt you. Don't take it personally, she's just very protective of me." "Celeste, aren't you going to compensate the man?" Celeste's eyes met mine. For a heart-stopping moment, I thought she recognized me. I prayed she would explain, deny the word girlfriend, do anything to make me feel like I wasn't the world's biggest joke. But she just pulled out her checkbook, scribbled a number, and tossed it at my feet. Her voice was ice. "Keep your mouth shut. If I hear that you've been talking, tarnishing Rowan's reputation, I will ruin you." 3 years together. I could recognize her silhouette in complete darkness. But now, standing right in front of her, with only a layer of cheap monster makeup on my face, all she could do was threaten me to protect her boyfriend's name. Did she truly not recognize me? Or had I never mattered enough to be remembered? She led Rowan to a Bentley waiting outside, opened his door, fastened his seatbelt, and drove away. She never looked back. I stared at the top-of-the-line car, a bitter taste filling my mouth. We couldn't afford a car. We had a beat-up scooter. Countless times, as luxury cars drove past, Celeste would point and say, "Nolan, you just wait. One day, I'll have you sitting in a car like that. My passenger seat is only for you." Back then, I thought I could ride that scooter for a lifetime, as long as I had her promise. I thought I was the happiest man alive. Now, she had the luxury car, but the man in the passenger seat wasn't me. I went home, took off my makeup, and pulled up the photo of Celeste's mother on my phone, staring at the check in my other hand. The number on it was enough to pay for a year's worth of top-tier medical care. "Celeste, what other secrets are you hiding from me?" The sound of the key in the lock startled me. I quickly hid the check. "Nolan, I got paid from my part-time job. I bought you your favorite strawberries. Come have some." When she saw the cut on my forehead, Celeste's smile vanished. She rushed over, her eyes wide with concern. "What happened? Does it hurt?" I forced a weak smile. "I just scraped it. It's nothing. Strawberries are so expensive. Why waste the money?" "This isn't a waste, Nolan. If I could, I'd give you the whole world. You've already sacrificed so much being with me. I'm working hard to make money so my baby can have a good life." I said nothing. Her words were as sweet as ever, but mixed with the scent of Rowan's cologne still lingering on her skin, they sounded utterly absurd. Celeste glanced at my phone and chuckled. "Other guys are always looking at beautiful women. Why are you staring at a sick old lady? She's so old and ugly." I froze. "You don't recognize her?" Celeste looked genuinely confused. "Should I? Is she a relative of yours? We should buy some gifts and visit her then." "Oh, Nolan, I have another late night shift. I have to go now. I can't have dinner with you. Be a good boy and wait for me at home." She ruffled my hair and left. Her words left me stunned, nailed to the spot. She was the one who took me to the hospital, pointed at that photo of the comatose woman, and told me, with tears in her eyes, that this was her mother. And now she says she doesn't recognize her? I hailed a cab and followed her. I watched her walk into a high-end department store and change into a ridiculously expensive dress. Then I followed her to the hotel. As I entered the grand lobby, I saw Rowan, dressed in a designer suit, clinging to an elegant, regal-looking woman. The woman's features bore a striking resemblance to Celeste. Celeste walked up to her, handed her a gift, and said, "Mom, happy birthday. Your daughter wishes you all the best." A tidal wave of absurdity crashed over me. I couldn't tell if I was supposed to be angry or heartbroken. For 3 years, I had watched her suffer under the weight of fabricated medical bills and debt. I had given everything to share her burden. Every cent I earned went to her. I had starved myself, fainted from hunger at work, all to save money for her. And now I find out that even her dying mother was a lie. Her sorrow wasn't for her mother. It was because Rowan had gone abroad. So what was my suffering for? My hunger, my sweat, my sacrifice? What a fucking joke. Halfway through the party, Celeste's mother made an announcement. "Thank you all for coming to my birthday party. I have some wonderful news to share. My daughter, Celeste, and Rowan have been in love since they were children. Now that Rowan has returned, we will be holding their engagement party in 3 days. I hope you will all be there to celebrate with us."